Hello, my beautiful human beings. My name is Kelpie. Welcome to my channel. Feel free to check my other social media and join our sensible community. Without further ado, let's start with the first story. Douglas the Demon says that he fucked up. He got ambushed at a party by a group of Christians who wanted him to quit his job. Hi, 19 male. Recently spent the night with a young Christian couple. Thankfully, not sexually. I had no idea they were Christian when I met the two of them. Let me explain the meeting. I work at a gay bar. I'm not gay. But as a poor person who needs to pay rent, I'm not picky when it comes to employment. The couple were my customers. They seemed to enjoy talking to me every time I served them something. I didn't mind. The bar was not that busy, and I liked them. Based on our conversations, I was surprised to find out that my assumption was wrong and that the guy was not the gay or my best friend and that the woman he was with was actually his wife. Both of them made it clear that they were straight. I said I was straight too before explaining the reasons why I was working in a place with posters of penises on the walls. The couple ended up giving me a generous tip and made me promise to come to a party they were hosting at their house the following evening. I was at their house the next night. To be honest, I didn't want to go, but I wanted to avoid an awkward apology if I happened to see them at the bar again. So, there I was, at the party. I'm gonna dive straight into the what the fuck. This was no party, at least not for me. It was a gathering of Christians, and it seemed like I was the only random person there. I didn't really know what the fuck I was part of at first, until the Christian couple introduced all the other people to me as sister and brother, so. The couple asked me if I believed in the big guy in the sky. I shrugged and said I didn't know. The husband said he owned his own business and credited the big guy for making that possible. Before I could respond, he asked if I would like to work for him instead of working at, and he quoted me on this, a place with posters of penises on the walls. He literally said my job at the gay bar was sinful and shameful. Not gonna lie, I had no interest in working for him. I know beggars can't be choosers, but I didn't feel comfortable working for a guy who shamed another guy for working at a gay bar. I declined his offer as delicately as possible and said office work was not for me, especially in telemarketing. The husband pointed at one of the people in the room, an attractive woman, and said that she also used her body to please others before he showed her another way, to earn a living without sin. I said thanks, but no thanks, when it seemed like he was waiting for me to provide some kind of response. The couple looked dissatisfied. The wife decided to take control of the conversation and ask me if she and her husband could pray for me. I thought she meant pray for me and something she and her husband would do in private while I was off living my life in sin or some shit, which is why I was like, sure, whatever. Pray away. However, I soon realized they meant pray for me at that specific moment, and not just them, everyone. The couple encouraged everybody to gather around and not only pray for my protection at the gay bar against my gay coworkers and customers, but also pray for me to change my mind and accept the job I was offered. Q. People who practically knew nothing about me, praying for me out loud. It was bizarre. Everyone was suddenly shouting words at me. I had no idea what to do except to awkwardly stand there and occasionally wipe people's saliva shots off my face. What was even weirder was the fact that everyone finished praying at different times. It all came down to one man who went on and on about random stuff that had nothing to do with me. At the end of the prayer session, I dropped the I need to use the bathroom line to escape the group and eventually the house. When the coast was clear, no goodbyes, I was gone. Hands down the most uncomfortable and unexpected experience of my life so far. TLDR, a couple invited me to a party at their house, which I accepted, only to find out that I was going to get ambushed by a group of Christians who wanted me to quit my job as a waiter at a gay bar and basically become one of them. One user says, so let me get this straight. The majority of the people attending the Christian intervention party are all regulars at the gay bar they all hate and want you to quit working at? How the fuck does that make any sense? Another user answers by saying, some missionaries I have met actually do that. Not exactly gay bars, but they go as a group to meet up events at bars and clubs to spread their ideology, while shaming others. Another user's answers to the part about the wife decided to take control of the conversation and ask me if she and her husband could pray for me. You poor fool. Grew up in a family like this and knew exactly where you were headed. Minus the sweet bathroom escape. They were never this direct. But I remember them trying to convert so many people, and I always thought, as a kid, the awkwardness of it all would go away with age. Instead, the older I got, the more awkward and boundary crossing it became. Sorry you had to suffer through that. OP probably can trace a solid amount of my social anxiety from moments like this. Another user's affairs a getaway plan. My solution has been to try to cut a deal with them. Oh, but this gay bar pays me $10,000 more than I'm likely to get at another job. I'm not really sold by what you're talking about, but I'm very interested. I'll change jobs and try out your church for a year if you'll pay me the difference. Because if they really believed your immortal soul was in danger, that God was real, etc., then that would be a no-brainer decision. For even the chance of a conversion, if they had the cash, that would be the choice a true believer would make. So far, nobody's ever taken me up on it. Another user offers another solution. In hindsight, you should have thrown their bigotry back at them. Speak language they understand. It's not our place to judge others for how they live their lives. Only God can judge. I am sorry that you have allowed the devil to make his home in your heart, and I will also pray for you. OP answers by saying, I wish I thought of that. The cool comeback lines always come to me when it's too late to use them. I've been replaying the events in my head, but I imagine myself saying or doing something that puts everyone else in an awkward position. Like asking the husband how exactly he crossed paths with the woman who apparently used her body for sin. The title should be Beware of a young couple that goes to gay bars, finds out your weakness, and invites you to a falsely disguised Christian meeting where they will use said weakness and other manipulation tactics to try to join their religious group or an MLM. On the other hand, that sounds terrifying. I hope that you told the story to the people that you work with to keep you and other customers aware of their hidden intentions. Let's continue with the next story. Winanova 57-6 states that I think I ruined my husband's relationship with his best friend. My husband and I, both 35, have been together for 7 years and married for 5. He has older brothers that he isn't particularly close with. The one person he is very close to is his cousin Aaron. They lived together after my husband graduated college. He was the best man at our wedding, and Aaron even lived with us for a year while we were married so he could finish school. I like Aaron a lot. He has felt like a brother-in-law to me, much more than my actual in-laws have ever felt. My husband and I have had a rough 3 years. Between COVID, there was a point where both of our fathers were in terrible health. We've dealt with infertility issues. And sadly, in July, we had a stillbirth at 34 weeks pregnant, and Aaron has been there for us through all of that. He is probably the person my husband can lean on the most for support. Last night, I get a call from Aaron's longtime girlfriend, Jennifer. She asked if it was okay if she could come over and have some girl talk with me. Jennifer and Aaron have been together about as long as my husband and I have. She has 3 kids from a previous relationship, and we love them. They spend the night at our house, and her older kids dog sit for us. She comes over and proceeds to tell me some serious problem she has had with Aaron, and she is at a loss at what to do. The main crux of her issues are, Aaron is in an insane amount of debt, and has basically used her as a place to crash for 7 years. He is constantly criticizing her for her parenting, saying she babies her teenage children. And finally, he's lying about where he's going, and his locations have him at a massage place that does happy endings. I hate to say that the financial issues and the parenting issues I already vaguely knew about. Even my husband and I have called Aaron out about how he talks about the teenagers. But I had no idea how bad it was. We talked through it, and I flat out asked her if he is going to a massage parlor and getting a happy ending behind your back, would you still stay with him? And she said yes. So I gave her some advice about boundaries and talking to him, and I left it at that. After she left, I went upstairs and told my husband what she said. He proceeds to have a complete breakdown. He is in tears. I finally get him to talk, and he starts saying things like, "Can I just have one person in my life that I can trust? I can't go to my brothers to talk. And now I can't trust Aaron because I know he's been doing this shit. He's fucking better than this. Just completely and utterly destroyed. I feel terrible. I didn't even think about it when I told him what Jennifer said. I didn't even think that it could ruin their relationship. Aaron is the only person he goes to for advice and really looks up to as a big brother. And I just completely destroyed that image. I'm going with the classic pretend it didn't happen technique this morning. But I just feel like I completely took away the one family member who felt comfortable turning to for emotional support. The fuck do I do? Today, I fucked up by telling my husband all the fucked up shit his best friend / surrogate brother has done to his girlfriend, and I probably ruined their relationship at a time when my husband really needs support. And user ask OP. So the alternative to this fuck up was what? Exactly. You lied to your husband about his best friend's behavior? Aaron fucked up, not you. Another user writes, it's not a fuck up, it just sucks. If she had realized the effect it might have had, I think the only change would be to try bringing it up at a better time. Or find a more tactful approach if possible. But it's always hard to know exactly how something is going to affect someone at a given moment. Also, nothing wrong with getting emotional about something. His response was understandable and reasonable. Another user says, OP, your husband is upset because Aaron fucked up, not because you did. You did nothing wrong. Your husband feels betrayed because Aaron isn't who he thought he was, and that's okay. Let him work through his feelings. You might even reassure him that this doesn't mean he and Aaron aren't friends. They might just both have to talk through it. He deserves to know, and this wasn't something to keep secret from him. Think how betrayed he would have felt down the line if he had found this out, and that you had known the whole time. We got to updates from OP. Update. Yowza. Thank you everyone for your kind words and your jokes. It certainly helped calm down my spiraling brain. I don't have much of an update on Jennifer and Aaron, other than they are broken up, but my husband and I have heard that a time, or 20, and don't really buy it. I will go ahead and give some clarification on some common questions. Why do you think you fucked up? Honestly, because of my husband's reaction. The minute I realized he was breaking down and crying, in my head, I was thinking shit, oh, I fucked up. I just felt so horrible that I made him upset. And I know it wasn't me. It was what Aaron did that upset him. But maybe it's the former Catholic in me. I am programmed to look inward for blame wall. Is Aaron your husband's only friend? No. We actually have a great group of friends who are very much our chosen family to us. Aaron is his cousin and the only family member he is really close to. We have a good relationship with his parents and siblings, but they've never been close. He's also the youngest of all the grandkids. His cousins are all at least 5 years older than him. So there was never anyone in his family he was close with growing up. He and Aaron got closer in college, and it felt like he finally had that person who understood him and could confide in. Why aren't you in therapy? Oh, don't you worry. We are in all the therapy. When our baby died, we got into group therapy, couples therapy, and individual therapy. Our couples therapist has been trying to get us to focus on things to look forward to again. Simple things like going out to dinner, going on a trip, etc. We are unfortunately in a real negative headspace these days, which I think is the other reason he had such a big reaction. Tiny update, my husband and I both work from home. I tried my hardest to avoid the subject about Aaron and Jennifer. Then while I was in the shower, he came in the bathroom and said, by the way, yes, I am still pissed about Aaron. Fuck. We went out to dinner last night. I did apologize to him. Not exactly, I'm sorry I told you. More like, I'm sorry that happened. He said, you have absolutely nothing to apologize for. I am pissed off at Aaron. Paranoid me said, you sure you aren't mad at me at all? My husband said, I am about 1% mad at you. Because you probably shouldn't have told me after I ate my gummies. We take Delta 8 gummies at night to sleep. I guess he had already taken a few by the time I came upstairs. I did tell him that there were more shitty things Aaron has done that I didn't get a chance to tell him because he got so upset. I asked him if he wants to know that stuff, to which he said not now, maybe another night. We enjoyed our steaks and chilled for the evening. I don't know what is going to happen moving forward. He is very insistent that he is not going to reach out to Aaron. And Aaron still has no idea Jennifer talked to us, or that my husband knows all the shit Aaron has done. Maybe he will wake up tomorrow in a different timeline, where no bad things ever happen. We can all dream, right? And user shares their opinion about cutting ties with Aaron for good. Human. My wife, who is the love of my life, ate my sandwich. Reddit. Divorce her and never contact her again. Some bridges need to be burned. For a while, I was commenting on threads where this happened to remind the OPs that Reddit commenters have zero skin in the game. So abandoning the relationships, which may have lasted for decades, without even trying to fix things is way too easy for them to recommend. Or, in other words, the only relationship advice you should seek from Reddit is support for a decision that you have already made. And user Amber is saying, I can make infinite assumptions about what's between the lines. But if we're just taking the OP's post, which is all we have to go on at face value, and assume it's true, this guy, deeply in debt, has used his partner's place to crash for years, is critical of her parenting style for children that aren't his, is unfaithful, and is evidently taking advantage of his spouse's low self-esteem to keep a roof over his head while he does whatever he wants. Those aren't anywhere on the scale of my wife, who is the love of my life, ate my sandwich, Lamau. We're talking about dirtbag behavior that's gone on for 5+ years. If I discovered one of my friends had been doing shitty stuff behind my back for over half a decade, I would probably cut off the friendship because what they need is a therapist and a total mentality reset. The fact that Aaron also reminds OP's husband of his family, who he's low contact with for a reason, helps contextualize why the friendship began, but also doesn't exactly speak highly of Aaron. OP's husband discontinuing the friendship is hardly destroying Aaron's life. It's showing him that his actions have consequences and that if he conducts himself in a shitty way, people who aren't shitty won't be his friend. Tough luck. From my part, I'm going to focus my attention on what I believe is the most important part of the story. OP, Aaron's consequences from his actions aren't yours to suffer. The reason why your husband felt so hurt when receiving the news is because he also realized how badly his friend behaved, crushing what he believed to know about his set of values at the same time. I'm also proud of you for asking your husband to confirm that your fears are dumbfounded, and I encourage you to believe him and support him in the grieving of losing a friend. If that's the path he decides to take, I wonder if him writing a letter expressing his feeling about his actions will help to exteriorize his internal pain. I believe that you both are already working things out with your therapist, who know you and your situation better. Finally, I'm also so happy that you decided to vouch for Jennifer's well-being, even if that meant inserting yourself into the problem to stop it. I'm sure she feels a lot of gratitude after seeing her suffering validated by you and your partner. I hope she also takes whatever decision is necessary for her and their children's well-being. I hope that you're gaining strength rather than guilt from your experience. You fought for someone that was hurting. That's a total badass hero attitude. You're so cool, OP. And that's the end of today's stories, but would love to see other points of views about this topic. If you have another perspective, please let me know in the comment section down below. And that's all what my sense can handle for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you on the next video. Be safe and see you soon.